Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Survivor 41, episode 11. This was an episode that I really felt kind of confused by at times because it felt like the pacing of it was a little bit off. We were going to tribal very early. I didn't know what was going on there. I mean, we ended up having a really powerful segment there, but going into it, I was very confused, and I'm still confused about some things that are going on, such as why Jeff Probst. Is there, Jeff, you can tell us if you need help. Is there someone who is standing behind you while you're producing this season, like threatening you, like, if you don't put another twist in this episode, buddy? Like, what's going on here? Who's making you do this?
He is dropping twists like mixtapes. They are everywhere all this season.
It is way too much. Listen.
Way too much.
There is going to be a rant upon rants about the Survivor Do or Die, which just needs to die and never return to the game.
No, I do not want to see like a shell game of you just go home random because of I am really done with the twists.
Yeah, okay, we will get more into that. But of course, hit that subscribe button because we still have a little bit of Survivor 41 to go. We are not at the end. You know, it looks like we're going to be in for a pretty thrilling conclusion unless Jeff goes crazy and decides to throw another twist out there where he gets to decide who the winner is.
Also, to everyone out there who is celebrating, Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, happy Hanukkah to everybody out there.
And also, as promised in our last Survivor video, I said that I would have a picture up at our Instagram, Matt and Jess TV, of the cheese ball in the shape of a turkey where I had to like hot glue some candy corn to a chocolate ball.
Yeah.
It is up. Also, we made some advent calendars and that was really fun. That was like a 2-day project. It's like $8 at Michael's. We bought a bunch of stuff from Dollar Tree and you put whatever you want in it. We got pictures of that up at Instagram as well.
Remember when, we all used to see them like paint the tribe flag and do these other art projects? We got our own art project. Hashtag bring back the art project. Bring back the things that make Survivor feel like, I don't know, I'm nostalgic and old, everyone. Just bear with me.
Okay, so let's start off with what happened in the fallout after SHAN left, because Leanna was still like playing SHAN's game. She was really upset.
Yeah.
She wanted to target SHAN. I mean, SHAN had called him a snake. He was really upset about it. And he spoke a bit later that he felt like he didn't react the way that he felt he normally would. But I gotta say, if I was Deshaun, I would have been pissed off about that as well. Like, I don't think that his reaction was unmerited. I would have been really mad because something like that puts a target on him and puts his whole game at risk. I understand that she was upset, but like just the same.
There was a lot of like back and forth, like who is right and who is wrong amidst all the sort of arguing that went on here. And I will say this, that Leanna, it's understandable that she was upset by what happened. I get that. You feel the need to want to vent about that. I mean, Deshaun, I do not think he did a good job at all of sort of trying to explain it, because he was like, oh, this is just something we felt like we had to do. And it was like, well, actually, you really didn't have to. There were 8 people left. You could have tried some other sort of force a tie. You could have tried some other sort of shenanigans, especially if the other people thought that you were on board with splitting a vote. So there's a little bit of hypocrisy there. But listen, Deshaun, I know it sucks to be told that, oh, you're a snake. You're playing shady and shifty and all of that sort of stuff.
Yes.
I would have been like, hey, everybody else, rather than think about what she said to me, let's talk about how she said she'd give her vote to Ricard and like go harder to make the target on him.
Yeah, Ricard really got out of this. And of course, a lot of this is in thanks to Xander. Xander really wanted to keep Ricard in the game because he's a bigger threat than him. And I understand where Xander's coming from with this. at the same time, he still has an idol in his pocket. So even if Ricard did go this week, next week, Xander, regardless of what happens, is going to be safe because either he's going to win immunity or he can use his idol. Like, he's going to be okay.
Xander, it's time for a little bit of just discussion here about your own hypocrisy, because you were being like in a couple episodes ago, yeah, I'm a free agent in the game, and it's okay. And this week, I'm in an alliance. This is my alliance now. Which is it, Xander?
Yeah, I'm running this alliance, and here's where I think that they did make a mistake getting SHAN out last week. I think it should have been this week. They could have gotten her out this week. They did end up putting themselves in this position where now there's like this 4 against the 3 of them, and they could have taken out a number over there because that is what was going to happen. They were going to all sort of scramble and come together because there's no one else to go to.
This was just Deshaun's sad episode, because everything that happened to him in this episode was sad other than him surviving because of the twist. But like, it was first, people are mad at me because I'm apparently a snake. Then it's like, okay, you make this sort of big move, but as it turns out, you get no real credit for it. And instead, people are just mad at you and targeting you. So now everything just sucks for you moving forward.
All right, so since we're talking about things that suck, we might as well really talk about this twist. So the immunity challenge came up. Jeff brings out this new twist that's basically pick a rock, and if you want to sit out, you can. But if you're the first person to go out of this challenge, you're immediately thrown into this, like, we later figured it out, it's like a shell game. Here's 3 boxes, pick a box kind of thing. If you get the whammy, you're out. If you get the fire, you're in.
I gotta say, if I am in this position, I am picking that I don't want to play rock so fast, because listen, yes, there's a chance that I'm going to be voted out, but if I'm voted out, I want to be voted out. Like, I want Probst to be like reading my name and I have like that face when I'm shocked about a blindsiders. I do not want some dumb game of fate to kick me out of Survivor.
I'm really over the games of fate in this season because we also have this like shot in the dark, which is also just a game of chance. Like, it's too much. It's been too much. However, my boy Danny won immunity. I like him just so much. He's just like this, I don't know what it is about him. There's just this nice energy about him, and he feels very much sort of kind of like me, like a what you see is what you get. It's just, this is who I am. This is who Danny is. And I really like people like that.
It's really funny in a sort of way here where Danny, you sort of look at him, and I think the overall perception is going to be, okay, this is a guy who has so many different things going for him because, he's athletic, he had, as a career in professional football. But then when you sort of break everything down, and, I am not a football savant. I will get that out there, but I knew that Danny played for the Cowboys, my hometown team, so I did a little bit of research on him, and he was mostly like a special teams player. So he was like involved in like the punts and the kicks and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to try not to sound like I'm football ignorant here, but basically he was not a star. He was not Patrick Mahomes out there, and so he was an underdog in football. And from what we heard about his story and his dad tonight, it sounds like he was an underdog in a lot of ways in life, having to overcome that.
That was a really heartbreaking story to hear what happened to him, and so young, and losing his dad, and that he really held on to this anger, which is, Danny, I know you're not watching this video, but just in case you are, I'm a former funeral director. Being angry is like a completely normal part of grief. People hold on to anger about that stuff. It is completely normal. And I felt so sad for him when he was talking about how he felt shame about that. But it is a really normal reaction to feel anger, to lose somebody that you love, and especially that young. I just want to hug him.
I know.
But that immunity can hug him for me.
It is the hug of immunity.
I just really like that, because I have felt that he is someone that can win this game. He did need to win something. He has now won something, but he has been a very big force in a lot of sort of the team challenges to help win and win and win. And then now he's won his individual immunity. He's very well liked. He is part of some of the strategic stuff that is going on. I just think he has now enough of a resume to be able to win over the jury, especially because he is so likable.
I think the biggest thing, for me now too, is that he has an edit. And I know, and I don't want to become
Yes,
one
he
of these
does.
edit geeks because I was doing the whole Shan's got the winner edit thing, and then Shan gets voted out last week, and I am just losing it over here with this.
No, Evie had a winner's edit for me too,
Yeah.
and I thought, probably could have, and they're gone too. So who knows? Xander also has a beautiful winner's edit right now, so he's probably gonna win.
You know who doesn't have a winner's edit? I'm not trying to pick on her every week, but Heather. I'm sorry, Heather. You do not have a winner's edit. I'm just putting it out there.
For the record, I was not going to pick on Heather this week, and
Listen.
I'm still not. This is me not picking on Heather this week.
Heather, I'm not saying... Okay, you got to finish the video.
All right, I'm
me
still here.
talking. Okay, no. That's all I'm going to say about it. Heather may be a nice enough person. It's just not a winner's edit. That's fine. But okay, we have this challenge. Danny wins in glorious fashion, and then we have Deshaun, who loses so unbelievably fast in this immunity challenge. And I gotta say, I am not good at these things. I would have beaten you, Deshaun, and that is no shade, but I think I could have lasted longer than the 5 seconds Deshaun lasted.
I was really curious what would have happened if they all decided to sit out. What happens? It's like, all right, guys, I'll see you at Tribal. That could have very easily happened.
In that case, a CBS executive comes out and fires Probst before the challenge is even over.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, Probst? There's too many twists, which, by the way, Probst...
Yeah, because it really is such an unknown what these twists are going to be, and you're down to, just a handful of people.
Yeah.
I would have sat that out, too, and I would have figured out a way to strategize my way out of it later. There's no way.
Here's where we can give Heather some credit. See, Heather, we're not just being mean here. Heather, you made the right move by not doing this challenge.
Well, I agree. I think she totally made the right move not doing this challenge.
Yeah. So we got this challenge, and then at this point, I'm just livid about this twist. This is all I can think about. I'm just if I wanted to see games of Chance Probst, I could go to Vegas. I could play some craps. I don't know. I could do anything other than watch Survivor.
Yeah, there was a lot of swearing and no, I'm kidding, but yeah, no, Matt was mad.
Yeah, I was a little bit heated, but here's the thing. We got to calm down a little bit because we had some good old fashioned, strategy talk. This is the thing that we're supposed to be doing on Survivor.
Yes, and so we did have this talk to get out Ricard. Ricard is a big target, a huge player. Yeah. Xander didn't want him to go because then it would leave Xander as the biggest target. But I said this a little earlier in the video. He is the boy who cried idol.
Yeah. Even if there's another week where their idols can be good for, he can go out and find another one.
Yes.
There are still a lot of possibilities, and that's why
it's just so close to the end. Ricard needs to go. He needs to go. If I was Xander, I would have just taken the run at it.
Listen, guys, I love Ricard. I've made this clear.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
I am rooting for him actively to win the game because he is playing. I don't know if I would actually be emotionally capable of doing what he's doing, but he is playing like I would want to play Survivor, which is hard, relentless. You be ruthless when you have to be ruthless. I appreciate him so much for this, but with all of that being said, I would kick his butt out at this point, so unbelievably fast, just because you don't know what is going to happen after this point. You can't run the risk of him winning a couple of challenges.
Yeah, or Jeff coming in and throwing in another twist that helps Ricard in some kind of way. There's too many unknowns this season. Ricard would have had to have been bounced. I'm sorry.
And there's another part of this that I don't know if Xander is really thinking about all that much, and that is I've made this move with the idol early on, but I haven't made many moves since then. It's okay, Xander, you you were kind of just around for like 2 episodes. You didn't really have a role other than whether or not you were going to play your idol. Like, taking out Ricard is a really good winner move.
Yes. Xander does need to have something else on his resume outside of having the fake idol and sitting on a real idol. There has to be something more. There's sort of a, recency bias in the game as well. What have you done lately? Okay, you did this fake idol thing so long ago that people aren't even talking about it anymore. Like it's just not there. This would have been a really good move to have on his resume, and he definitely would have won. And he could have just won his way to the end.
Yeah, there were other options. I mean, watch all this work out for Xander, and he ends up winning anyway. And then
I think he's going to end up winning.
Based
on the edit.
I think Xander has a very good chance. I'm sticking with Ricard for now, even though I understand Ricard has no idol and is probably going to be screwed at some point moving forward. We'll talk about the Leanna part of it here, because Leanna is the person who really should be the most mad about this twist right now. And she should be outside of like Probst's like $2 billion Malibu compound with like a megaphone, because like, listen, Deshaun, because this stupid twist worked out for him, he probably would have been voted out if this twist had not existed, right?
Yeah. Probably. And so it did end up screwing Leanna, and now she's out too.
Yeah, and this is the other part of it. I don't think we got a lot of sort of insight as to why Leanna. I know that Deshaun was safe because of the twist, and Danny has immunity, and
I'm guessing the other side just wanted to break things up, and really that Xander didn't want Ricard to go. He just really didn't want him to go.
And we get into Tribal, and there's like 28 minutes left at this point, and we don't know what's going on. I mean, we end up having this really long, powerful, emotional discussion about race in the game. And, and it's good for Survivor to have these conversations, because there are a lot of people out there who just haven't listened to them over the years.
And this is a big platform to be able to have these conversations with people that may not ever have these types of conversations.
Yeah, and if you're in the game, you may not be around this diverse group of people in the real world, in sort of your own little bubble. So it's important for that. And then on the other side of this conversation, we finally get to the reveal of the box shell game that is this just idiotic twist. And at this point, I have fully resigned myself to the idea that Deshaun is going to leave shamefully in this way. And the moment Probst basically said, you have a 1 in 3 chance, I was about to kick over the computer. I was about to break off I was like, you have a 33% chance because you sucked randomly in one immunity challenge. Like, how is this fair?
It is not fair, and it is ridiculous. I want to watch Survivor where it is based on your skills and strategy and winning in the game. I don't want to see that somebody is being kicked out because they picked the wrong box. It's just not entertaining.
What did you think about Probst, as Xander put it, going full Monty Hall at one? By the way, how does Xander know who Monty Hall is?
Who doesn't know who Monty Hall is?
He's so young. Like, I don't know.
No, everybody knows he's an icon.
Okay, so did you like Probst being like, this one has a skull on it. Would you like to switch it out now, Deshaun?
It's ridiculous. It's just wasting time on the show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was completely ridiculous. So all of this happens. Deshaun ends up being safe because congratulations, you picked the right box. Good for you. And then Leanna ends up being voted out.
Yeah.
Is Leanna's biggest mistake in the game just that she was too close to SHAN, and I think she didn't see or explore enough other relationships?
Yes. I think that she was just way too invested in her friendship with SHAN. And I understand that they had a really important moment together and they had an incredible bond together. But the minute that SHAN was out, she needed to pivot. And SHAN leaving the game and turning to Lane, I was like, don't trust anyone. We saw at the beginning of this episode, she's kind of like, I'm going after Deshaun. I'm like, oh no, why are you going after somebody who's going to be a number for you? Like, don't put yourself into this spot where you're by yourself by, cutting off your own alliance because you're mad at them about what happened to Shan. You got to stop playing Shan's game. That's what this whole thing felt like with Leanna, and that's why it was a bit of a disappointment for me, because I thought she was going to play more for herself, and it felt like she was playing more for the partnership.
Yeah, and it's time for me to play a little armchair quarterback here, and I know this is strange. It's the second time I've referenced football in a single video.
This is turning into like a lot of football for someone who doesn't like football.
I am Jock Matt here reporting. But I don't know. Jock Matt doesn't sound like that. Jock Matt is retired indefinitely. That character is not returning. Okay. See, as an armchair quarterback, she should have found a way to patch things up with Xander. Like, that's this is easier said than done, because Xander did do his whole stunt about the fake idol, like, all the way back at the start of the merge. Mm-hmm. But I think you gotta let bygones be bygones. I think she had to let a little bit of that go. Xander had to be a little probably more open than he was as well, because that could have really helped her, because Xander had an extra vote, which he ended up using at this tribal.
I don't think there was any patching that up. I think it's just very difficult when you feel like you've been clowned, and then you've been made to look like a clown on TV in front of your family, your friends, a nation. It's very embarrassing, and I think that it is hard to get past that. It's just, did she need to be as upset as she was? That's for her to say. She's got to feel whatever she's going to feel. And we've seen this on lots of reality shows where someone is made to look stupid, and then they feel stupid, and then they don't want to work with that person anymore, and they don't want to vote for that person. Like, it's really just, I think personally, great TV moment for all of us, the fake idol. Not the best gameplay to do it in a way that makes the other person feel stupid and embarrassed.
That's what makes it so difficult. And that's why it's so easy for me to sit here and say this, because I have no emotional attachment to anything.
Yeah, I just don't think that there's any real, like, I'm trying to think of it from my perspective. Yeah. If I was sort of, made to look like a clown like that, do I want to go back and work with them? I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm sleeping on the ground. Like, I'm probably not in the frame of mind to be like, you know what, I should really patch things up with this guy.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Survivor is a game where you just become increasingly irrational, and if you're gonna hold on to things like this. But we have 2 more episodes this season to hold on to, and I'm excited for those. I don't know what's gonna happen, but who are you guys actively rooting for at this point? Because that's a pretty good question. There's a lot of pretty likable people, I think, left in this season.
Yeah, and you know who we're rooting for? Danny.
Ricard.
Like Ricard. Oh, I like Ricard too.
Okay. Well, give us your favorites. Tell us what you thought about tonight's episode, and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys' support so much. We're continuously thankful to be here talking about it.
Yeah.
Give us a like, and we'll see you here next time.